Darrell the Great Western Engine had been working on the North Western Railway for a few weeks now, and had really grown since his arrival. He'd often talked to Duck about times of old, and he worked well alongside Ginty. Now it was summer, however, and the Fat Controller had sent Ginty to Wellsworth to assist with banking on Gordon's Hill, leaving Darrell on his own in the yards. Hey! Whoops. Good grief. It's not easy, this. I bet this is how Ginty must have felt before I came. Oh, here comes the Fat Controller. Surely... Good morning, Darrell. Good morning, sir. Just a bit overworked, I see. Well, you'll be pleased to know then that James will be helping you out until Ginty returns. Good day. Darrell hadn't really met James before, and wanted to make a good impression. The next day, James arrived, but in a huff. He wanted to spend the summer pulling passengers, and the thought of working in the yards of all places was enough to make him cringe. Top of the morning to you. I know full well it is, thank you. Rather be somewhere else. Yeah, away from you for a start. What's wrong with me? What did I do to you? All of you Western engines are all talk and no work. What do you mean? You like to gob off pretending you are the workhorses of the British Railways instead of actually... Now, James, that isn't true. If it isn't, then why aren't you working right now? A yard is a busy place that requires dull attention 24/7. Well, you're not working either. James subsided and started taking his anger out on some trucks. Oi! Stop that! If I were you, James, I'd treat those trucks the way you want to be treated. Now he's telling me how to do my work. I have been on this island for a good 80 years, you know. Some engines. Over the coming days, James and Darrell worked in the yards, but James grumbled dreadfully. My paintwork is spoilt. Goods trains, dirty sidings. I can't stand it. Honestly, why do I have to? Darrell did his best to put up with his constant moaning, but he'd been used to Ginty's pleasant attitude ever since he arrived on Sodor, and James, if anything, was the complete opposite. Then one day, as Darrell had shunted a goods train for James, he saw a man walking over from the back of the yards. He came over to look at Darrell. He seemed important. Hello? You must be new? I don't recall seeing you before. I am, sort of. My name is Darrell. I'm a goods engine, although you can mostly find me working here. If you don't mind me asking, what are you exactly? An inspector, thank you. I love how neatly arranged this yard is. I try. I would thank you for arranging my train, Darrell, but I just really want to get this over with. And you are James, if I remember correctly? Yep, that's me, the one with the shiny paint, the one who can take anyone anywhere where they need to be. Well, good. My inspection is over and I need to get back to Crovansgate. Would you be able to give me a lift? What, me? Why, certainly, I'd be more than delighted. Darrell watched as the inspector climbed into James's brake van. Now remember, James, you bump trucks, they bump back. Whatever. Blimey, it's good I get to take the inspector. If it was you or Duck, you'd bore him after sleep. He'll cause an accident. Bet on that. Out on the main line, James was trying to make the best of a bad situation. The trucks had had enough of him pushing them around. Bump him! Pay him out! Ah, stop that! Now! He would have bumped them back if the inspector wasn't on board. The Sudrian countryside is still just as I remember it, but I think I'll just take a look out of the window. I wouldn't do that if there's soot in my eyes. Before long, they approached a signal, which was red. Slowly now. The trucks took their chance. Bump him, make him pay. No, 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 what are you doing? Stop! Overrunning signals, are we, James? That's it. Now, James, I don't think the inspector would appreciate that now, would he? James didn't care. And as they started off again, James devised a plan. If I can get to the workstation in double time, the inspector will have forgotten about me bumping him. Whoa, steady on, James. No need to race. The inspector doesn't want to be bounced about like heavens above. Someone slow this blasted train down! Just ahead, the Permanent Way gang were working on a section just before the bend. Bouncing buffers! His driver screwed the brakes on hard, but it was too late. Phew, that was close. For us. What about the inspector? You were right either, thankfully for you. But what about James? If you don't help, please. Back at the yards, Darrell was arranging a passenger train for Donald when...
Leave those coaches, Darrell.
I would have done anyway, but... Go on.
James is off the line near Wellsworth. Apparently he crashed into a bush.
It's James? Oh, I did warn him. But when he remembered that the inspector was on board his train, he raced to the rescue with the breakdown crew. Fortunately, James wasn't hurt, and before long, Darrell had pulled him back onto the rails. The inspector was cross and looked at him furiously. I've heard of trains that go cross-country, but this is not something I expected. But how will I get home? It's too far to walk. How would you like to travel with me, sir? Granted, it's more dirty on the footplate, but... Oh, thank you. Most appreciated. Oh... I truly am grateful for the ride, Darrell, sir. Happy to have been of service. Certainly more than that brightly coloured mogul was. James said nothing. Nonetheless, I shall tell your controller about your good deed. You, Darrell, are a really useful engine, and after all, they don't call it God's wonderful railway for nothing. Cheerio now. Darrell beamed from lamp iron to lamp iron. You're quite lucky your accident wasn't more serious, James. You're free to leave now. Darrell, I'm really sorry about what I said about you. About you being all talk and no work. Oh, it's fine. I've done some really stupid things in my time too. And I made a show of myself today in front of a very important visitor as well. All because I let my temper get the better of me. Don't worry about it. I have a philosophy. Laugh, learn, and move on. I don't know what a philosophy is, but that sounds good to me. Friends? Friends.